Indy, Monaco, Le Mans. There are many great races in the world, but for amateur drivers, one race stands above all others. For the past 50 years, the Sports Car Club of America Runoffs has been the pinnacle of amateur motorsports. A single, winner-take-all event that can take a lifetime to win and only split seconds to lose. This is where champions are crowned, where professional careers are launched. This is where greatness is born.
And now let's get down to John Bisognano on the pits.
Well, Dorsey, our pole position, of course, you've seen this man many times here, Tom Slow, but Tom, you were telling me earlier, you put the hurt on everybody in this field with only one lap of qualifying?
One lap. I jumped out of the T2, jumped into this. As the T2 broke, I jumped into this, did an outlip, a flyer. I was 1.3 in front of the field, came in, went back into the T2.
Is that fair? I mean, that's not being terribly gentleman to these guys.
Well, I was trying to save on brakes and gas, and
and tires. So now listen, you told me you were building a new car for this year. Where is it?
It's in the trailer in the paddock.
Why is that?
It's just not developed enough yet to. This old girl still likes to prance down a racetrack.
I'll tell you, man, one lap of qualifying on pole position. Congratulations. I hope you take it to the podium.
Thank you. Yeah, we came
all right, guys. And, the SCCA, they try and help out everyone. You can see the splitter has changed quite a bit on the 17 car as we have to move a little bit quickly to get the white Mustang in here. But some of these older cars weren't as competitive as should have been. So the SCCA will actually change the rules, and this is something the front splitter on the 17 car is an all-new design, and here he is, third place on the grid. Last year, he was actually a competitor right to the very end and took the podium. So it's going to be a great race. Here at Elkhart Lake, you love seeing these Mustangs and these Camaros and just running through Thunder Row. That's kind of the history of this place. So they're not quite Trans Am cars, but close. Enjoy it.
Ought to be a great show, certainly. Dorsey Schrader, John Bisognano on pit road, ready to get going here with a Sedan, American Sedan, just a couple of moments. Mustangs, Firebirds, Camaros, and what did I see in here? A Cadillac CTS-V also.
Yeah, that's a good car, too, no doubt about it. But these Mustangs have been the car to have. Mostly Andy McDermott's back there. Last year he had broken a suspension piece on the first lap and actually did a driving demonstration with nothing holding the rear end axle in except for the drive shaft. There's that Cadillac, the 73. You see it there. Anyway, that's a great rivalry up front. That front row, Tom Slow, Andy McDermott, Ed Hosney. These guys put on a show. I love those Cami V8s when they start these things up. The corner workers call it wooma because that's what they sound like when they downshift, and they coined that phrase. These are the muscle cars, man. They make the ground shake, and it's cool.
No question about it. And these are, we'll see the GT1 cars later in the weekend, which are the current generation Trans Am cars. But this is kind of how Trans Am started back in the 60s.
This is exactly what Trans Am came from. These are all street-derived cars with roll cages built into them and so forth. But they're not like a Trans Am car, which is a full-on tube frame car with a silhouette body. These are real Mustangs and real Camaros and so forth, like you buy at the dealership and drive on the street. They allow safety modifications, they allow performance modifications. They got big horsepower engines in them, and they actually have more horsepower than they have tire to deal with it.
Yeah. So
it's a hard car to drive. You got to drive it within the limits of what the tire will allow you to get away with. And with a 30-minute or 40-minute race, you can burn the tires off these before that.
36 cars scheduled to go. Tom Slow in that 74 from Newberry, Ohio is your pole sitter. The Hunter Engines, who's your tire Ford. Andy McDermott will start alongside of the 24 from Howell, Michigan. The WeatherTech Mustang. That's a new Mustang. As you tell the difference of the body style. That's a 2013 body style that McDermott is running. Second row, that 17 car, that black Mustang from Galloway, Ohio. That's Ed Hosney, the Lasco Ford Steeda Mustang. And then outside, Mike Levine from Hooksett, New Hampshire, the Auto Renew It Mustang. That's car number 42. Third row, Phil Smith from New Albany, Ohio in the 54. The Harper Motorsports Camaro, first Camaro to qualify, and alongside 12-time national champion, our good friend John Heinrichsey from Clarkston, Michigan. The TAR Pontiac Firebird, Heinrocket, the name of his engineering company.
Don't count him out.
Not at all, not at all. Brian LaCroix will start 7th from Hyannis, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. The BF Goodrich, NewGMParts.com Chevrolet Camaro. Alongside, starting 8th to 15, Daniel Richardson from Rockville, Maryland, the P Auto Works Chevrolet Camaro. Fifth row, the 46 of Jeffrey Worth from Silver Spring, Maryland, the AEC Anzi Shocks Camaro. Worth in the 46, and Dane Smith in the 6 from Springdale, Arkansas. He starts 10th, the USA Metal Recycling Camaro. Starting 11th in the 20, Jim Wheeler from Lenexa, Kansas. The Hoosier Tire KC Racewear Pontiac Firebird. Going 12th in the 67 from Mundelein, Illinois. That's Chris Peterson, the C&P Installations Ford Mustang. 7th row, Tom West in the 53 will go 13th from Standish, Maine. The Limerick Machine Company Chevrolet Camaro. Starting 14th in the 48, Greg Eaton from Woodbridge, Virginia. The Cowles Parkway Ford Mustang GT. Row 8 on the inside in the 50 car, Amy Aquilante from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. The Aquilante family have been active in this for a long, long time. That is a TAR Pontiac Firebird. And starting 16th in the 2 from Springdale, Arkansas, Tom Smith of the other USA Metal Recycling entry. That, too, is a Camaro. 9th row, the 8 of Jerry Post from Sunset, South Carolina. The Trapani Suspensions Camaro. And alongside Post, in 18th starting spot, Scott Schweitzer from Lake Orion, Michigan. In the 28 car, the KMS Autosport Ford Mustang. 10th row, Chris Qualls in the 13 from Los Angeles, the Hassapool Ford Mustang. And starting 20th, Dennis Carreri in the 16 from Boxford, Massachusetts, the DC Consulting Ford Mustang. Starting 21st, Tom Ellis in the 51 from Sunrise, Florida, the Steeda Ford Mustang Cobra. Starting 22nd, Bill Gray in the 09 from Fayetteville, Arkansas. That is a Pontiac Firebird. 12th row, Eric Ritchie in the 58 from Katy, Texas, the Ritchie Racing Pontiac Firebird, just outside Austin, Texas. Starting 24th in the 71, Mark Muddeman from Belleville, Michigan. That, too, is a Mustang. Starting 25th, Brian Thomas Himes in the 57 from Slidell, Louisiana, the Channel 4 Resources Ford Mustang. And then starting 25th, make it 26th in the 60, Matt Regan from Addison, Illinois, the CSR Bobcat Ford Mustang. 27th starter is Kelly Lubash from Stanford, Connecticut in the 32. That's a Chevrolet Camaro. Going 28th, Phil Brabik from Island Lake, Illinois in the 63, the Garber Collision Pontiac Firebird. 29th starter is Scott Sanda from Western Springs, Illinois, the Tro Manufacturing Cadillac CTSV. It looks like a refugee from World Challenge competition. Not sure if it is, but that's what it looks like. Starting 30th in the 27, Kim McDonald from Grand Island, Nebraska, the Kim's Auto Repair Pontiac Firebird. 31st starter is Matt Nagel from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, the 85 car. That is a Camaro. 32nd starter, Shane Daggett from Iowa City, Iowa, in the 47, the Badger Construction Mustang. Beth Aquilante in the 61 from Arlington, Virginia, the TAR Hoosier Hawk Camaro. The 96 of Ian Maloney starts 34th from St. Charles, Missouri, the Empty Pockets Ford Mustang. 35th starter is David Venhouse from Milwaukee in the 11. That's the CSR Bobcat Mustang. And then their 36th starter scheduled to go is Sean Maloney from St. Charles, Missouri. And that is a Chevrolet Camaro. Last three did not post a time, at least in 2 of the 3 sessions. Maloney did not take a time at all this weekend. So that's the way they'll line up. 36 cars waiting for the indication to bring them off the pre-grid, get them out on the racetrack doors.
A lot of cars. It's a big field of cars, 36, if they get all start. 4 past champions in this field, and not all in this class, but the reigning champion is in 3rd place. It's Ed Hosney that I'm talking about. Run last year after both cars in front of him had trouble. Tom Slow and Andy McDermott. McDermott driving around on a drive shaft hooked to the rear axle was highly entertaining. Let's just put it that way.
You told me about that at the start of the weekend, and
Crazy.
I thought that can't have been. How many laps did he make? Like, I mean, that's impossible to do.
Not only was it crazy, but he was driving really fast with it like that. You know, I mean, really fast. So he put on a show for the crowd.
Yeah.
Andy's a perennial favorite, as is Tom Slow. You know, the two of them, they've been doing battle with each other for a long time. Tom Slow's car has been the one more prone to having mechanical issues than McDermott. But, you know, these guys run, as you'll see in a minute, they run these really hard.
Oh, no question about it. It's one of the classes we've been looking forward to seeing here for much of the weekend. We were preparing for this the series of broadcasts we'll be doing here these this couple of days at the 50th SCCA Runoffs. When I saw that you and I were going to get to do American Sedan, I thought, how cool is that?
Tom Slow should have won this last year. He'd led most of that race.
Yeah.
He had everybody covered, but except for McDermott, who broke early. And but then, like I say, mechanical issues. These guys, they will use the curbs. They will use the grass. They'll get away with, you know, everything that they can. These are big horsepower cars.
Yeah, plenty of horsepower.
No problem with horsepower. No problem with rear tire, though.
And Tom Slow, you know, Hutter Racing Engines, if you're not familiar with Ron Hutter's engine shop, they build motors for just about everything. Modifieds primarily on the East Coast, but they have built some Sprint Cup motors and many other major series. The Hutter engine is a well-known name. So
I'm not sure who builds the motors for Andy McDermott, if they do it in-house or if he's got an engine builder, but that's always a really raspy, cammy sounding V8 that he has in there. One of the crowd favorites. It does sound absolutely bad to the bone.
No question about that. So Slow and McDermott will be on the front row. Hosney and Levine in row 2. Smith and Heinrichsey in row 3, and then Brian Lacroix, Daniel Richardson, Jeffrey Worth, and Dane Smith. So got a lot of talented racers at the front of the field here.
Oh, no doubt about it. And these guys put on a good show. You know, they will be slipping and sliding all over this racetrack, and it looks like the starter is going to release them out to the pace car.
So the field starting to come off the pre-grid, getting ready to roll out behind the pace car and line up 2x2, and we'll be ready to go racing here momentarily. As we mentioned, 36 cars scheduled to answer the call. See some sticker tires on some of these cars.
Saw that too. Ed Hosney in that third place Mustang, that's the older body style. And as Biz, as Biz showed us, it's got that new front air dam, front spoiler.
That's a splitter, really. On that
it is
car,
a splitter.
Yeah.
And it's going to help him with front downforce. That his body doesn't have the equivalent of the newer type body. So SCCA does allow some modifications, and then they also will allow things to get more equal by adding modifications or add-ons, if you want to call it that, and that's what that is. That splitter.
In this category, are these cars on an 8-inch tire, 9-inch tire?
I'm not sure what the tire width is with these. Like I say, these are they're purpose-built tires for racing, but they're still on a street.
It's a DOT tread.
Yeah, it's a platform. And they definitely have much more power than they have grip, which makes them fun to drive. But,
sure.
You know, you got to. It's a ballet. It's a balancing act between, how much sideways do you want to go? I mean, you can drive them sideways all day long, but you're going to burn off rear tires. So these guys will be concentrated on trying to launch clean and not spin the tires up too much, so that at the end of the race, when the fuel load gets light, the fuel tanks and all these things are behind the axle. So as it gets light, the back loses grip, and if you're burning tires off when you got maximum grip at the beginning of the race, you are a sitting duck at the end.
So saving, even in just a 50-mile race, saving something for the end is important.
Yeah, you've got to be cognizant of what's underneath you. With that kind of horsepower, it's like driving Trans Am was. You've got far more horsepower than you can use, and so you have to time your race out, because you only can win it at the end. You can't win it at the start.
Yeah.
And so many people didn't ever
get
that
to lead the first
out.
5 laps, but you want to lead the last lap.
Yeah, you only get that checkered flag at the end. It never happens in the middle.
So the American Sedan field out on the racetrack here at Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Good to see that the rain has stopped. As entertaining as a rain race can be.
Well, we had a good one. Our first race.
Yeah, absolutely.
As good a rain race I've ever seen, I think. That went from start to finish as a real race. But you're right. The dry is what everybody came for, and these fans are tired of being wet for 3 days.
Yeah.
They want to get dried out too.
So the racetrack is dry now, and we should see a pretty much normal set of conditions here for this upcoming battle on the 4-mile Road America circuit in Elkhart Lake. But as I mentioned a moment ago when we were enjoying Formula Atlantic, it's not exactly bright blue skies. Not a clear sunny day.
It's cool out there and overcast, and we got a big wind. We haven't talked about the wind much, but I mean, you probably got a 15, 20 knot wind going on out there, and it's a crosswind on this front straightaway side. I think this weather pattern that we've seen is blowing out of here, and it's going to be out of here probably tonight, and I think the rest of the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, are going to be nice, cool days. That's actually a little flag shot that's back hidden behind the trees. It's actually a lot windier than that shows.
I was looking across. We of course are situated just past start finish here on the front straightaway, looking directly across at the paddock, and I can see some banners just really stretched out straight in the wind here today.
Yeah, it's good solid 15-20 out there right now.
Talk to me about track conditions on a day like this when it has been mostly overcast. The track temperature's got to be pretty cool.
It's very cool. Track's trying to rubber in a little bit. We've run some races in the dry now, so it's starting to get out of its green nature, but I would think it's still probably 2 seconds a lap slow from Tuesday when we had a good warm 80-degree day with the sun shining all day. The track will come in. These guys, though, with that wind blowing like it is, these are heavier cars. They're not going to get blown around like some lighter stuff, but this track won't be as fast lap speed wise, but it's got enough grip to race on, that's for sure.
Lights are out on the Road America pace car, that Chevrolet Corvette, so we should be ready to go racing this time by. They will line up 2x2. We'll get ready to drop the green and get going in American Sedan, the 50th SCCA Runoffs. Final time, or at least for this next many years, here at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Kind of mid-positioned in the country, and that's been one of the points of discussion. Dorsey, we talked earlier today about the huge entry list, almost 700 entries here. almost everybody can make a tow here, and next year on the West Coast will be a little different, perhaps.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're an East Coast guy trying to go from Connecticut all the way out to, to Monterey, California, that's going to cost a lot of money.
All right, the field coming to the final corner here at Road America, about set to make the hard right turn and start up the hill toward the start-finish line and get this one going for 52 miles, 13 laps coming up.
Look at all those cars.
36 cars set to answer the call here at Road America. Here they come under the Caterpillar Bridge. Slow in that yellow Mustang on the inside. Andy McDermott in the white new Mustang alongside. Green flag is in the air. We're underway in American Sedan. And Slow gets the drop on McDermott.
Yeah, he did. He got a good jump, and McDermott goes into defensive mode right away.
Action deeper in the field. Third row starting to bunch it up. 2 and 3 wide. Slow leads him into turn 1 over McDermott.
Osmond back there in third. He's last year's champion after the 2 in front broke, like I said. And then the pack, and there's a bunch of pack back there.
You better be spending a fair amount of time checking your mirrors. McDermott right back up on Slow now as we work into the short straightaway.
There you go, right there. You can see both those cars just broke loose. Both drivers got on the throttle and tore up the rear tires, just smoked up the rear tires. You're going to have to watch that. It's okay the first opening laps. These tires aren't up to temperature. They're not up to pressure yet, so they're going to be dancing around for a lap or two before they get some heat.
Tom Slow in the 74 is your leader. Andy McDermott right behind him in second spot in the 24. Third spot is last year's winner Hosny in the 17, having gotten by Mike Levine.
Philip Smith, the first of their General Motors cars, doing a good job back there in fifth. He's trying to make something happen.
That's the 54. First of the Camaros. The 3 car actually moving up a spot. That's Brian LaCroix who's gotten up in there.
That is Brian. You're right. Tom Slow starting to open up now on Andy McDermott. But like I say, we're only to turn 8 on lap 1. So, I mean, these tires, and look at the rubber come off these cars. We're talking about rubbering in the racetrack. These guys have rubbered in.
There's Andy McDermott running second in that white WeatherTech Mustang. Third is Hosny
Both
in the 17.
Nice 4-wheel drifts down through the carousel. These are big, heavy cars, and you'll see them set those cars into a slide and then just use the power to keep them there. Fun to watch, fun to do too.
Slow out of Ohio, the race leader Hosny in the 17, being pressured now by Levine in the 42. That's for third spot.
Oh man, that just got real loose at the edge of the kink.
Again, in these cars, man, you don't want to lay a right rear off into the grass if you can avoid it.
No, and it looked like it was slippery right there. We had 3 cars almost get off there.
The 42 of Levine back at the 17 of Hosny for third. Give Levine third spot back.
Takes that away from Ed for sure. For the time being, anyway. That was hairy back there in the kink. Yeah, that's these cars are heavy, and when they start to go into motion, they go into that 4-wheel slide. You know, you get the thing crossed up like that, and you ride it out. But right at the exit of the kink, there must have been some moisture still down there. All 3 of those cars really got in trouble.
Slow and McDermott 1 and 2, and the gap is about a dozen car lengths as we head back for turn 1.
Tom Slow's been on his game this weekend. I tell you, I talked to him down at the worker parties last couple of nights. I mean, the car's been running really good, and he's talking the talk. You know, I can tell that he's up on his game this year.
John Heinrichsey in the 56, the 46 of Jeffrey Worth, and Worth to the inside takes the measure of Heinrichsey in his Firebird.
Well, for the time being, John working back to the inside to go down the bottom hill. He'll probably get that position wrestled back away.
For 6th and 7th.
Didn't qualify that well. I mean, Heinrichsey usually right up in the front with these other guys, with Tom Slow and Andy McDermott. And I was talking to Greg Creamer, who's not here this year, and Greg really wants to be here, so he keeps messaging me about what's going on. And I told him about Tom Slow getting the pull over McDermott. He goes, wow. He goes, you know, it's too bad that we couldn't have, I forget who he was talking about now, but anyway, he's been aggravating me all day about he wants to be here so bad. He wanted Heinrichsey. I said, Heinrichsey is here, just didn't qualify that good.
So Heinrichsey gives up a position there to Worth. Worth moves to 6th. Heinrichsey drops back to 7th. Dane Smith, Jim Wheeler, Dan Richardson, the rest of the top 10. Chris Peterson is 11th in front of Phil Smith. Leader continues to be Tom Slow as we work on lap number 2.
They got a lot of people want to be at this runoffs. You know, the Circuit of the Americas is holding a race this weekend too, and Brian Chill texted me earlier too. These guys want to know what's going on at the runoffs, and they're down there with the LMS race. And but man, everybody's heart's right here. Nice move on the 67
Absolutely.
Mustang.
Chris Peterson in one of the new body style Mustangs making a move as they head under the Speedville Bridge.
It's around Daniel Richardson, a real good move right there.
I love those Mustangs in that boss orange color. That's one of my favorite all-time Mustang color schemes.
Yeah, the old Bud Moore cars.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. That's not quite the yellow mustardy color one that was.
No.
I love to watch them in the carousel and stuff though when they lean over and you see that 4-wheel slide going. You know, like I said, oh, that's too much of a slide right there.
Dan Richardson in the 15 nearly having to get away from him. They're side-by-side battling for position back there.
Apex of the kink, you don't want to be crossed up, and he sure was.
It's 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. They're 2x2 as they come down the straightaway.
Now, this is going to be interesting going into Canada Corner. 2x2, 3 deep.
Yeah. A 15 car, Wheeler and Dan Richardson fighting it out. That's back in 9th and 10th.
That's a good scuffle.
That is a great battle. That's what makes these cars, I think, so much fun. You've got dogfights everywhere. Heinrichs and Worth still going at it. Heinrichs back there. One car. Hosny on pit road.
I think that's Hosny on pit road, our third-place car. Reigning champion.
Wow. Heinrichs in the 48 car right behind him. And the draft being broken. Check that, the 46 of Worth. This is the fight now for 5th position because Hosny apparently out of commission on pit road, and Heinrichs able to hang on to the spot in the 56.
Ah, that's a shame. That is definitely him.
He looks like he may have a broken front end piece. Looks like
got a lot of camber in the left front.
Camber there, So Heinrichs in the 56 now in 5th position. The 46 of Worth back to 6th, and they've had quite a fight going on.
I said don't count that guy out. He's got more national championships than anybody, just about, you know. He's a great race car driver and didn't qualify well, but he races really well. And that car, you know, it's might not be as fast as a Ford's, but he will race it hard. A lot of pressure with the 46, doesn't he?
Jeff Worth on the outside.
Nice job. Has more top end than the. Oh, but he's in too deep. Gets
Heinrichs working beautifully. Keeps that car on the road, and Worth goes way off in the runoff area.
That's the problem with that turn 5. It's a great overtaking place, but if you overcook it, you're just a setup for a repass.
Now, Worth cost himself probably 10 car lengths.
Yeah, absolutely. He just got way too deep. Couldn't get the car stopped, but he knew enough not to turn for the apex, which would have spun him out. Instead, he just drove out into that extra road on the outside edge and gathered it up, but it did cost him probably 8-10 car lengths.
Brian Lacroix in car number 3, running in 4th position right now. Into the Johnsonville Bridge, there's Heinrichs in the blue 56,
that's
5th
what I like.
place car.
I like that. You can see him just all the back end stepped out about 5 degrees, 8 degrees. So there you go, like that. That's a blast to drive like that. It really is. It's fun. And they got enough horsepower to sustain it.
Driving off those rear tires, though, you can burn the tires off pretty quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, you're putting some heat in that left rear, and that's the problem because you got that carousel corner, then you got this corner kink, both real hard right-handed. You're leaning on that left rear really hard.
Out front, Tom Slow by nearly 3 seconds over Andy McDermott last time by as we work lap 3 of 13 here at Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Alongside Dorsey Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin, John Bisignano with the coverage on pit road for us all weekend long.
Tom Slow doing a massive job. I mean, he's really, I could tell by talking to him the last couple of nights that he's been really up, and you know he likes his race car. He likes where he's at. You know, that's the most confidence I've seen in the last couple 3 years.
Top 2 making it up the front straightaway toward turn 1. That's Slow in the 74. Not slow at all. He's led all the way so far.
Not slow.
Andy McDermott in second spot in the 24.
Big rear tire marks as he comes out of turn 1. I mean, he's just lighting them up. And that's what's fun about these cars having enough power to break the rear tires loose in any gear at any speed. Right there, he's probably in that corner at 110 miles an hour, and he lit those things right up.
Gap was 3 seconds, so Slow adding a couple of tenths to the advantage over McDermott's machine last time by. Levine in 3rd, Lacroix in 4th, Heinrichs in 5th in the 56. Then you've got Worth, Dane Smith in the 6th, Jim Wheeler in the 20, Phil Smith and Daniel Richardson the rest of the top 10.
It's also interesting to me that Tom Slow took the old car. He chose this old car to run here instead of the newer chassis because of familiarity with the car, and he just feels like that's the better deal. And you see Andy McDermott, he's in the new car. Uh-oh, somebody's smoking pretty good here.
The 51 in some trouble.
Yeah, I'd say he's in trouble. He looks like he's headed intentionally to park somewhere.
Yeah.
I think that motor might have just let go.
I think so. Tom Ellis from Sunrise, Florida, the Steeda Ford Mustang off to the grass.
That means there could be some oil down there in turn 3 for the next lap.
The white smoke or maybe a little water, you never know. Maybe some of both.
Oh, yeah, that's even worse.
Definitely, that is even worse. Battling for position deeper in the field. Looking back down the 71, this is around 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. Schweitzer in the 28. Muddleman in the 71. Chris Qualls in the 13. Bill Gray in the 09. Back for position.
Gray, a past champion in GT1 years back. Somebody's been off in turn 8 there. The white Camaro looks like he's got it back right in.
That is the 15 car of Daniel Richardson.
Look at that big old slide down through there.
Yeah. Richardson in 10th position. Last time by start finish. Another
that
car
smoker.
showing some engine smoke. The 54. That'll be Phil Smith.
They run these cars hard. You can see. I mean, they're
Oh, yeah.
sliding. Oh, somebody's off big time.
Off in the grass, headed to the Armco. Nice save there by the 3, I believe, of Lacroix. Or was that the 15? That might have been Richardson in the 15.
See here in a minute, but that was really a good save. He was out there in that wet grass. And
Jim Wheeler in the 20. That's who it was.
Yeah, if he had done anything at all, you know, right there, he'd have had a spin crash going on.
Yeah.
He really did a good job of just maintaining the speed.
The 6th car of Dane Smith. You saw him go by in 7th position. Jim Wheeler in that 20 is the chairman of the SCCA's club racing board. So a guy who not only loves competing in these cars, but helps lead this organization.
Good for him. I've always maintained that everybody in the racing, one way or another, should have driven a race.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
To understand, you know
what it's like out there. Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Know what it costs, know how difficult it is, and have a little sense of what it takes to compete at this level or any level.
These cars are neat. I mean, they are just slip sliding all off these corners. You see every one of these cars in four-wheel drifts because, again, they're running on a street-derived type of a tire. They're heavy. You know, they're not. These are all near 4,000-pound cars, and they got a lot of ponies. That's a
position battle here, yeah. John Heinrichsey in the 56, Brian Lacroix in the 3, and Heinrichsey has picked off 4th from Lacroix. So John Heinrichsey starting to show you the form that has earned him a dozen of these national championships over the years.
In trouble.
Lacroix with a little brake problem going into the corner.
He got it wiggling in the brake zone, and it locked up after it transferred the weight. It locked up the front unloaded tire on it.
And you're carrying so much speed when you get down to the bottom of that hill in 5 there.
That's another thing with that turn 5 is you're coming off a really long straightaway and you're braking on a downhill grade. Of course, when you get the brakes on, it throws all the weight to the nose of the car anyway, but then on a downhill grade, it even adds more bias that way too. And that car's smoking now, like something's starting to get weak underneath the back end of it. You see coming off the corner, he's either an oil leak, probably is an oil leak.
That's pretty much what it looks like. Maybe a little oil on the tires back there.
I was about to say the same thing. It could be
seal
a
or
rear
something
axle
like that.
seal, or if it's in the center of the car like that, it could be the drive shaft seal or the third member seal on the front where the yoke goes in. In any event, when you start dumping oil on your car or on your tires in a place as fast as this, not good.
So Lacroix on the 3 gives up a position. Heinrichsey moves to 4th. Tom Slow continuing to lead. Andy McDermott last time by took a half a second off of the advantage. Don't know if Slow was held up in lap traffic or what the situation was, but the lead 2.3 seconds last time by as we work lap 5.
Andy's really a crafty driver, and I could see him sitting back and saving tires and just running at a pace that he thinks is as good as he wants right now, and then making a late race charge. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if that happens.
Here they are, 2 lead cars putting another lap on the board. 5 complete of 13. Slow in the yellow 74. McDermott starting to reel him in. That was
surprised me. I mean,
down to 6/10 of a second.
You see that big old power slide through there? I mean, you drive these cars knowing that you're going to have some tire degradation, and you drive it to a limit that you know that you can handle, and then at the end of the race, you can at some point say, okay, now I'm pulling the trigger. I think the trigger's been pulled. Here comes Andy McDermott. He's going to put a show on now.
McDermott ran that last lap nearly 2 full seconds quicker than did Tom Slow, and that's the reason why the Slow lead, which had been at one point almost 3 seconds, is now down to 7/10.
I mean, that's exactly the same kind of race you did when you did Trans Am. Remember, I ran a race here for Tom Gloy, and he said I was running like 5th or 6th and dropping back. And he goes, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" I said, "They're all running too fast. They're nuts. So they're not going to be there at the end, doing that." And sure as can be, by 3/4 of the race, guess what? And I think you've seen that with Andy McDermott. I think he just settled into a pace. He knows he's not hurting the car. Now he is.
Or maybe he's pushing too hard.
That's what I say. Right now, he's pedaling the car hard. Now, what will happen is if he runs hard like he is right now, he's putting down rubber on all these corners. If he doesn't make up enough on Tom Slow, he'll probably back it down again, drop back again, and sit there and cool it all back down and get ready for a last race charge again.
Got plenty of time. Working lap 6. We're not even halfway yet.
No,
so
he could be feeling them out right now. I mean, knowing what these cars do, you drive within the limits.
Slow and McDermott, 1 and 2 here at Road America.
You can see the back end of that car is definitely loose. And it could be about what you're talking about, too. He could have put a lot of heat in those rear tires the last 2 slides we saw him do. All the way from up there in turn 1, he's been sliding the back end. So there's a point of no return, but you can get him hot. Oh, and
I'm not sure Slow doesn't have a tire going down.
Slow just had
I think his left rear is down or gone. One of the two.
Well, that was a ugly little move right there. Something went wrong.
Tom Slow nearly giving up the advantage. I think he's got a tire problem. Take a look at that left rear.
I don't see anything yet. But I'll tell you what, he overcooked the entry to Canada. He had too much speed on him, and that's what happened. Now he's got Andy firmly planted in the draft up behind him. And these guys, I say they race against each other a lot. They also tend to lean on each other.
Which is what makes American Sedan so much fun.
Well, it is.
This ought to be full contact stuff.
Oh, and look at McDermott just almost made the ultimate error, dropped his wheels off the outside.
Oh,
and look at that slide.
Andy McDermott.
That's what I'm talking about.
Head
He's on
to the grass.
He dropped the wheel in the brake zone right before turn 1 and almost got the car turned around.
So Tom Slow able to hang on to the advantage in the 74. McDermott in the 24 right behind him.
And Andy's using all the car up right now. You see him. He's big power slides off all these corners. Really working the rear end of that car. And he's got a long way to go.
Wow. And McDermott.
We're not halfway yet.
No, McDermott looked like he was pushing all the chips into the center of the table as if it was the last lap there.
Yeah, we're just at the halfway point, actually. And Tom Slow made that mistake down there before.
Andy McDermott again sideways.
Yeah, see, he's going to have to back it down now. Like I said, he's going to have to get off that game plan he's on and get back to a conservation mode and get those tires cooled down. Otherwise, he's going to just run himself in the ditch, which he's about to do right here.
When you see the leader pulling away, you're close to him, you're driving it harder than you should be, and the guy's pulling away from you. How frustrating is that?
The hardest thing to do in the race is to slow down intentionally. To understand the fact that I've overheated my tires, and now I see that yellow car getting away from me, but the only way I'm going to catch it is by slowing up. I got to get the tires back under the back of the car. Otherwise, I'm going to be just sitting here broadsliding all over the racetrack, which is... Hey, look at that. I mean, you see it right there. That both those rear tires are just putting big black marks down. It looks like he's unrolling a electrical tape.
So Andy McDermott of the WeatherTech Mustang, who looked as though he was on the verge of snatching the lead from Tom Slow, instead pushing too hard, has problems in a couple of corners, and it costs him perhaps an opportunity to grab the top spot. Slow is your leader, McDermott second. They're about 10 seconds in front of Mike Levine, who's third. John Heinrichsey runs fourth, and Brian Lacroix is fifth. We'll take a timeout halfway home in American Sedan here at the SCCA Runoffs.
The 2013 SCCA Runoffs are brought to you by Mazda. Zoom Zoom.
It's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You wish the freeway on-ramp was your personal racetrack. Well, buckle up, buddy, because the Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and events across the country, the SCCA has all the excitement you can handle. Dance the blacktop two-step with SCCA Solo. Get down and dirty with SCCA Rallycross. Or go wheel-to-wheel with SCCA Club Racing. Hit the track with the SCCA, where America's best drivers race.
He ignored the naysayers and never compromised. When Thomas Edison threw the switch, it changed everything. Engineering without compromise. This is the Mazda way. And this is the Mazda CX-5. SkyActiv technology makes it lighter yet stronger, earning a top safety pick. And more fuel efficient than any hybrid SUV. This is the uncompromised Mazda CX-5. What do you drive?
Welcome back to Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Coverage of the SCCA Runoffs, the 50th edition of this classic American motorsports event. Alongside Dorsey Schrader, I'm Rick Benjamin, John Bisignano with our coverage on Pit Road. American Sedan on the racetrack right now, where you're watching Andy McDermott out of Michigan in the WeatherTech Mustang, the 24, running in second spot, pushing hard. Dors, you can't win one of these events if you're sideways most of the time.
No, and he's backed it down some now. You see he's got it under control. You got to get yourself checked back in and let those tires get some grip back underneath you, and then you can launch another attack. I mean, you've still got, 5-6 laps of this race to go. The way he was going at it before, he certainly wasn't going to finish if he kept driving like that. And you see him right now, again, he's still got the big slide going through the carousel. Some of that is the way he's got the car set up too. I mean, he's got it set up a little loose. But you've got to drive it within what the rear tires can stand, and I think he overheated them, but see him wagging the tail, putting rubber down there in the kink again.
Working lap number 8, some action a little further back in the field here. We've watched the two leaders pull away and put a dozen seconds on Mike Levine in third. There's that Cadillac CTS, the 73.
That could be an old
Scott Sanda in the 17th position.
World Challenge car.
I think so.
Looks like.
The 8 and the 16 going at it. Good fight there. Jerry Post in the 8. Dennis Carreri in the 16. 13th and 14th up for grabs in the carousel.
These are fun cars to drive.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not cost prohibitive. I mean, they're nothing's cheap in racing. Let's put it that way. But this class is not that bad if you don't tear the car up wrecking it all the time. I mean, that's your expense factor, the unknown. But the engines tend to be pretty good, and so do the one of the Firebirds getting all sideways, juking around back there.
Tom Smith in the 2 car. That is a Camaro, the orange 2 in front of that Cadillac of Sanda.
Oh, somebody
the 32 off into the grass. One of the slower cars in the field toward the back of the pack right now. The 32, Kelly Lubash from Stamford, Connecticut.
Down now. It looks like this is a mechanical. Chris Qualls.
Wow.
Has pulled off
tough
over
break
by the
for Qualls. He was 16th. He had a top 20 run going. Remember, we started 36 cars, so full fielding. And one of the fights for position.
I like that body style on the 16 Mustang. That's a retro body style going back to 1970.
Yeah.
6970.
One of the original of the new body style Mustangs back a dozen years ago now.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I think that 6970 era was really cool looking cars.
The 8 and the 16, Jerry Post and Dennis Carreri, 13th and 14th as they come up onto the front straightaway.
12th place, those guys going at it.
Yeah, Tom Smith in the 2 car. Back there as well. And Scott Sanda in the 73. 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, all in play with 5 laps to go here at Road America. And we've had some attrition, so Post in the 8 now shown in 12th spot. Carreri 13th, Smith is 14th, Sanda is 15th.
Yeah, we've had a couple cars, 2 or 3 cars that have had mechanicals and pulled off and gotten out of harm's way, which is good because we haven't had any cautions. It doesn't delay the race. Our leader, Tom Slow. Now it looks like Andy. I'm sorry, it went the wrong way. I thought that was Andy.
Slow putting some distance now on Andy McDermott, almost 4 seconds last time by.
Yeah, I think Andy's hurt his rear tires. I think he's just run them off. Like I said, there is a point of no return when even you slow up and they won't come back under you. You know, they're too cooked. Or you might have even blistered them for that matter. We got a cool day today, so I don't think that should be the case.
Now, if you're McDermott, you talked about this a little bit ago, Dorsey, when you know, some.
That might be a flat left rear. You know, he's definitely smoking the left rear tire only.
I had thought that Slow had a left rear going down. Obviously, it's okay. It looked to me like there was a little tire shake on Slow's car earlier. Now we're seeing this on Andy McDermott's Mustang.
That could be a rear axle seal, too. It looks like it's coming out of the center of the wheel.
Tire's up. It's got pressure.
Yeah, I think that could be a rear axle seal starting to go. And you see it smoke out of the wheel like that. It also could be getting axle grease on the brake rotor, which is never fun.
McDermott up the front straightaway. The gap that time, 7.6 seconds. So for Tom Slow, with 4 laps to go now here at Road America, about to put the 93 car a lap down.
What you don't want is, your left rear wheel dumping grease, because all these right-hand high-speed corners, of course, that could have been what got the thing so loose in the first place. If it, in fact, is leaking grease, it comes out of the axle seal, and then it goes right into the center of the wheel. Then the wheel sprays it all over the place, and you run through.
Kind of like a fan.
Yeah, it's not good.
The stuff hits the fan, and it becomes pretty messy.
And that rear end grease is nasty stuff.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, so McDermott gets by the 93 of Sean Maloney, our final qualifier, the 36th starter today from St. Charles, Missouri, and the Empty Pockets Racing Team Camaro.
I think Andy's in survival mode now.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he realizes he can smell that. If it's rear end grease, you can smell it. Really pungent odor.
Here's the distance back from McDermott to Levine. This would be 4-second spot. Levine in the 42 running 3rd. Last time by start finish, there was an 11-second gap between McDermott and Levine. So McDermott knows he's pretty much got 2nd taken care of if he can keep the car on the road.
Yeah, Levine, if he's got a guy on the radio, he should be being told that, step on the pedal,
Yeah.
Because he can see Andy right ahead of him right there. There's only one car between. I really do, though. I think Andy McDermott's car has got a mechanical issue going on.
Certainly does seem to be the case because his pace has dropped off significantly here in the last few laps. Andy McDermott had challenged Tom Slow for the race lead. Now Slow, if you're just joining us, put his car on the pole in American Sedan. The 74 started first, has led all the way. McDermott challenged a couple of times, got right up on Slow, but was unable to complete a pass and take the top spot.
And now he's running a pace almost 4 seconds slow of where they were earlier in the race. So either he's got tire issue or possibly that rear axle seal. He's got a problem going on one way or another. And the race for third, Michael Levine might be able to wrestle that second place away from him. We still have enough time left to catch him.
About 11 seconds was the gap between McDermott and the 24 and the 42 of Levine. A couple of Ford Mustangs running second and third, battling for that position. There's the WeatherTech entry of Andy McDermott. Here comes Levine in the 42, running in third. I thought John Heinrich's car, the 56, currently posted fourth, might have an opportunity to get up and challenge for third, but it doesn't look like it. There's another 8 or 9 seconds back between third and fourth here.
I think Michael Levine can truly see Andy McDermott right now and see that he's catching him. And once you've got that, and you know that he's wounded to some degree, you really apply the pressure now. I think really Andy's just driving right now just a survival mode.
Yeah.
Levine is coming. He's going to catch him. It's not that far behind now with 3 laps to go. Oh, yeah, he's on it now.
Yeah, he sees, hey, I got a chance. I'm 3 seconds back.
Yeah, he just lit up the back. Here he comes.
So Mike Levine in the 42 car, your fourth qualifier out of Hooksett, New Hampshire, the Northeast Region points runner, the Auto Renew It Auto Body Ford Mustang. Who's your tires on that 42 car?
And he's slowing too. That lap was even slower than the one before. I mean, something's wounded on that Mustang. He's in there trying to just run this race out. Levine has got him caught. He's probably going to get him down here in 5 or right shortly thereafter.
If you're Michael Levine, you're looking at this thinking, I've got a great chance to get second here.
He's got him.
If the wrong thing happens to Tom Slow up front, you could be a national champion.
Yeah, thing's not over. Look at that. He takes it away right here on the entrance. And you can see Andy McDermott didn't defend. He didn't block. He didn't do it. He's wounded right now. He knows it. Nothing he can do.
So Mike Levine takes second away from Andy McDermott, and that class is a textbook example of overdriving your car and then ruining your day.
Yeah, and he might have done that. He could have cooked the rear tires off it. In any event, we sure had him sliding that Mustang all over the place. It could be oil leak related too, for that matter, with the axle seal. But in any event, right now, he's just trying to get her home.
So Levine in the 42 moves into second spot. And we'll see now if he's going to have a solid second indeed. Tom Slow leading by, 13.5 seconds last time around. So Levine needs some help, like a full course yellow or something else to befall Tom Slow to have an opportunity to get close to the leader and try to take advantage with a couple of laps left.
Meanwhile, back in the middle, there's a race going on.
There is some good battle. The 6 car with a fight on its hands right now. Dane Smith, Tom West, Jim Wheeler in the 20. Yeah, 5th, 6th, and 7th up for grabs here. Heinrich right in front of this group. He's 4th in the 56. So you've got 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th all in play.
That's 4th through everyone.
The 67 car in the midst there, Chris Peterson as well.
And Heinrich, who drives such a clean, nice race, it's going to
check that. That is the 50 of Amy Aquilante. Right. It's an identically painted car. So what we're watching is 10th and 11th here. The 12th place car, Jerry Post, in the 6. And then behind him, you've got Scott Sanda there in the 73. So Amy Aquilante in the 50. And she's got her hands full with Chris Peterson there in the Mustang, the 67.
Whoa, big slide from the Camaro out back. Easy. Watch us getting in the brake zone for Canada.
Good 3-car fight for position going on. And here comes the Mustang, the 67 car of Peterson to the inside. Amy Aquilante trying to hold him off.
Yeah, he kind of crabbed in there really early. It wasn't a decisive pass. It was like, I'm going to just go in here and see what happens. It's not a way you want to make a pass.
Peterson gives lots of ground and goes off the road.
Yeah, he was off on the outside back there. When you make those passes, you want to square up and make it decisive. You don't want to just wander on in there and see what happens. That's a bad idea.
Jim Wheeler in 6th in the 20 car just going by. The 54 car, Phil Smith is 7th. The 53 of Tom West now is 8th. 9th place car is Aquilante, and 10th is the 6 of Dane Smith. So Smith gave up a lot of ground. Peterson in the 67 is 11th. So Aquilante and the 6 car of Smith for position now.
They're going to contest the apex, which is never a smart thing to do.
Amy Aquilante able to hold serve and remain 9th.
Yeah, that Jim Wheeler's car looks like it. I mean, that Dane Smith's car looks like it's in the brake zones a little bit loose. Gets up on the springs and doesn't look like it's as settled as Aquilante's car is. But he's going to try it again down here in turn 5. Now he's working to the inside for the corner. There's our leader, Tom Slow, way out front.
Slow in the 74 all by himself. 17 seconds last time over Michael Levine. They'll see the 1 to go sign next time by.
He can't see anybody in front or behind him. So.
What a great feeling that is to look through that windshield. You've got nobody to chase down, but this is when you start hearing things,
well,
right?
You're thinking like, did they put the checker out and I don't know it? Where's everybody? You know, I always think it's my fault when that happens. You know, it's like I can't see anybody anywhere. What's going on?
1 to go for your race leader, Tom Slow, in the 74 out of Newberry, Ohio. The Hunter Engines Hoosier Tire Ford Mustang. Slow all by himself. Andy McDermott put a lot of pressure on him for a long time.
Here you are at a 4-mile racetrack, and you cannot see another car anywhere.
And you're in a 36-car field race.
Yeah,
it's not like there's nobody running with
something
you.
Has happened. You know? Like, what is going on?
You are in your own time zone when that's going on.
Yeah,
there's
you don't
no
get
doubt.
this luxury very often.
No, you do not. Slow just with one more trip around the 4-mile environs here at Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin.
Tommy's done a great job. This race is a perfect race with him. He's really had that one moment only. He just got in a little bit too deep down in Canada, made that mistake, and from that point forward, he's just been right on the money. And like I say, I've talked to him the last couple of nights. He's a different. He's changed him. I could tell right away. He's really, really up on his game. This Aquilani battle still going on.
Dane Smith, this is for 9th and 10th.
And it has the earmarks of turning ugly. I'm thinking that could be in a danger zone to be in right now.
Chris Peterson in the 67 back there in 11th spot in that orange and black Mustang.
He would like to make it uglier. He wants to get in there, add some. Oh, and a big power slide. That'll slow his straightaway speed. Watch the Mustangs on the eat him up.
Shows you the gap between the leader and these cars back in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th.
Yeah, that big slide of Dane Smith, that was over-rotated, really.
Yeah.
That cost him speed. Chris Peterson might be able to capitalize on that. There's Tom Slow.
Slow just needs to keep that car on the road.
Yeah, don't even shift it anymore. Just leave it in whatever gear you got it and drive it back. Car looks really good.
After the
look here. I knew it was going to happen.
Dane Smith in the 6 off into the weeds. Yep.
He might have done that himself more than likely.
Possibly,
that car's been really loose at the back end. I knew he was going to push really hard, try to get by Aquilani, and the way that car's been up on its haunches, getting in the brake zone and twitching that back end around, it was just waiting for a spin.
Coming up after the conclusion of a Sedan, of course, we'll talk to the top 3 finishers. John Bisignano ready down on pit lane to talk to our podium finishers and watch as the medals are awarded. H Production coming up this afternoon. Jeff Lepper, Randy Popst. Popst already champion of the bit. He's looming over your shoulder, Dorsey. He wants to get in here and say a few things. And then Touring 2 will come up following H Production to wrap up the day.
Straight away, no problemo.
Tom Slow headed to the honors here at Road America. The checkered flag is in the air. Tom Slow wins the national championship in American Sedan in his Mustang. And it's going to be a while before Michael Levine gets here, but Levine on pace to earn a runner-up position.
That's a good run,
a Sedan.
Michael Levine right there. Hats off to him. He had a really good, solid run. Here he comes right now. Of course, Ed Hosney had that mechanical issue, and he went into pit lane early. And then, of course, McDermott with whatever his ailment was.
Andy McDermott, Heinrichsey at the line. You saw it there a moment ago as Levine goes on his cool-down lap. John Heinrichsey in the 56 ends up 3rd and gets the final podium spot, getting by Andy McDermott on the final couple of corners. McDermott, who started outside pole and challenged for the lead a couple of times, has to settle for 4th today. Jeffrey Worth headed to the stripe. It looks like he will get credit for 5th, but has not yet crossed the stripe. Top 4 have already completed their race, but we've got more cars and drivers headed toward the checkered flag here. Some drivers a lap or more down at this point. Shows you the speed differential between Tom Slow and Michael Levine and the rest of the field. It shows you how much quicker the 42 and the 74 have been. Tom Slow wins your GoPro Hero of the Race award, and that's a car in trouble. Looks like somebody had a motor problem.
It's a bad problem right now too, because that's a fire underneath there that's being fed by oil and or by and he's not near a fire station. That's just out of the kink.
That is a Mustang, I do believe.
And he needs to get on out of there, because that's going to catch on fire pretty good here in a minute. You see the black smoke starting to come out.
Absolutely.
That's either oil related. I've been there. I've been on fire right there before.
Have you really?
Yeah, exactly. On the other side of the track, though.
It did sound like the voice of experience there.
And now he's going to try to hit the fire bottle, which is not going to do anything back there more than likely. Here comes fire truck kid. He's out and safe. That's all we want to know about there. That does look like an engine failure
Yeah.
of some sort, like possibly oil out the bottom of the oil pan. But
So Tom Slow on his cool-down lap here at Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, the 50th SCCA Runoffs. And
He's
American
been on his
Sedan
game.
in the books.
yeah, they got the fire out. That's good. The fire truck right there on top of that.
Bad enough to wreck a race car. To have one burn down around you, that's
I've had
never
that
good.
happen before too.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing in the world. When you have one, lose one to a fire is bad.
So Slow is your winner. Michael Levine ends up second, and John Heinrichsey gets to the podium in the 56. He will be third. McDermott fourth. Jeffrey Worth fifth. Jim Wheeler sixth in the 20. Philip Smith seventh in the 54. Amy Aquilani with a nice run to eighth in the 50.
Very good.
Thomas West ninth in the 53, and Chris Peterson 10th in that Mustang, the 67. Then Dane Smith, Jerry Post, Scott Sanda in the Cadillac, Tom Smith, and Eric Ritchie rounding out the top 15 today here at Road America.
That pesky Heinrich, he got a podium out of that.
He
That's
did.
pretty good. You know, I said don't count him out. He just digs deep the whole time. Didn't have the fastest car this weekend, but he's very savvy behind the wheel. You know, he doesn't make mistakes.
No.
Neither did this man, Tom Slow.
Tom Slow did a great job today.
Yeah, he really this weekend is. He's just been a step above where I've seen him the last couple of years.
So the top three heading to pit lane, and they will be stopping shortly to receive. The drivers will receive their medals, gold, silver, and bronze in American Sedan here in the 50th SCCA Runoffs. It's been a great day to start our 3 days of intense racing action. Plenty more to come for you on SpeedcastTV.com tomorrow and Sunday. The Hutter Engine 74 of Tom Slow coming to a stop. John Bizignano should be in position to chat with our winner in just a few moments. We'll try to bring you that and look forward to it, certainly. Great fight between Slow and Andy McDermott. McDermott loses a podium spot on the last lap. Got to think that McDermott just cooked the tires on the 24
Yeah,
and
that
just,
or
lost
kind of-
pace tremendously. there.
That smoke was suspicious to me. You know,
Yeah.
coming out of the back axle, I think.
Levine in the 42 coming to a stop, and Heinrichsey in the 56 as well. So great run for John Heinrichsey, particularly a guy who certainly, as we talked about, knowing what he's doing here, getting a good qualifying effort, but a great drive for Heinrichsey to get to third. Down to John Bizignano. Who's here today?
Well, I'll tell you, Tom came in and he gave me a little trophy. This is the shifter ball off the top of his shifter. I'm going to give this back to you, Tom. I don't want to break up a winning combination here. I'll tell you, Dorsey was saying in the booth that you were so confident all week long. You certainly put the hurt on everyone with your one lap of qualifying. But my gosh, for a very competitive class, you just pulled away.
Yeah, that's Ron Hutter horsepower. It's just awesome. I mean, A.J. Rodruck gave me a new setup, a little bit loose, but, you know, I had that one lap. I had to tighten it up a little bit. Loose is good for qualifying, not so good in the race, but I was hanging on, evidenced by ripping off the shifter ball and doing 3/4 of the race with no shifter, you know, no ball.
But what about, like lap 6 or something? They got right up on the back of you, and it looked like you had a problem. What was going on there?
I was actually cruising, if to tell you the truth. I mean, I made a couple mistakes, but I needed to get up the hill the last time, and I didn't last year. And I was determined to get up there this year, and I knew I could fend them off. I made, like I say, made a couple mistakes. I missed a little bit on the adjustment, and I had the 3-link. I mean, 3-link should have broke about 100 times. I had it ratcheting back there so far bad, but got strong parts, good engineering, I do, and held together, and I'm here.
Congratulations on a great gold medal, Tom. You put on a great show all week long, actually. Congratulations, mate. All right, back to our number 42 car. Of course, Mike had a very, very steady race, but I tell you, it got a little crowded, Mike, towards the end there. I mean, you had people all over you, but what a great, steady race.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, it was a great race. So first of all, I want to thank the crew at the shop. That's the only reason why I'm here. My girl, my crew, they're the best, you know. I mean, we just come out of a small outfit out of New Hampshire, and we try to run with these big boys. So we're giving it all we got, you know.
Well, now, when you saw the white car in front of you having a little bit of handling problems, slipping and sliding all over the place, you were kind of going, well, I got to keep my tires under me. I can't, you know, try and take advantage of this too much.
Oh yeah, and you know, when I saw that I was catching Andy, I knew he had some kind of a problem going, and I just kept on the same pace. I didn't want to linger from that, and I just kept on going, and we got to him finally. But he was a gentleman. He let me by, and off we went, you know. So yeah, it was good. I never saw him, so he was out there on me. But
taking that silver medal back east with you.
Thank you.
Now, what's your girlfriend's name? You just can't
Marsha.
see my girlfriend. You got to say my girlfriend, Marsha. Okay, terrific.
you.
Congratulations on
Thank
that
you.
silver.
Thank you.
Now, John Henry, that's someone who we've talked to many times, and not that many times in this position, but what a drive John had. First of all, if I may ask John, first of all, congratulations on your bronze medal, but your qualifying wasn't your norm. Was there something during a problem during the week?
Well, not having enough time in the car before getting here and then having the rain come in, we had a number of setup things we planned on doing during the week, and weren't able to get to them. So we kind of threw it at it for the race, and it went better for the race than it did in qualifying. So it was good stuff. We just couldn't get to it during the week because of all the rain.
So what's all this mud and dirt and things like this, you know? I mean,
the very first lap, as a matter of fact, the car in front of me went off the kink in the carousel, or in the kink, went off the kink and got into the mud and threw all the mud up, and I almost hit him. Boy, it was really close. It was LaCroix, I think.
you know, John, when you know that you're coming through the field like this, but you got to keep those tires underneath you. I mean, with the second place car was there for just the whole race and then started slipping and sliding and so forth. How do you get by these guys without wearing the equipment out?
Well, you know, these tires are working great for us. I think we've got the right setup. We've got the right pressure. We've got a relatively compliant car, so it really saves the tires. So I kind of focus on saving the tires and not being able to go so fast so that I've got something at the end. I just should have started a little earlier so I could have caught him a little easier, but it went really good. The car was good the whole time.
Dorsey said you were going to make the podium.
Yeah, well, thanks, Dorsey.
All right, guys. All right, John Henry, a bronze medal to go with all those gold ones back home. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Extremely dedicated racers all, and all of them, I'm sure, hoping, planning, anticipating being able to be back and compete and contend again in seasons to come. Take a look at your top 10 and Ace in American Sedan. Slow your winner, Levine second, Heinrich the podium finishers. You just heard from them. McDermott and Jeff Worth your top 5, Wheeler and Phil Smith. Amy Aquilani, I want to give her a call. She did a great job.
Great job. Under a lot of pressure, too, that whole race, and just hung in there tough. Good job.
No question about that. Thomas West in 9th. Chris Peterson in that Mustang ends up in the 10th position. So a terrific day's worth of action here in American Sedan, and there's plenty more to come. Got a couple of more races for you here this afternoon. Jeff Lepper, Randy Popes will move in and handle things the next couple of events. Coming up, we've got H Production will be next up on the board here on this Friday of action at the SCCA Runoffs, the 50th SCCA Runoffs, and Touring 2, T2, will wrap things up for us here today. So plenty to talk about, lots to come your way. Some of the action that we saw and enjoyed at American Sedan a few moments ago. A lot of drivers plowing up the turf here at Road America today. Everybody's safe and great battle. Andy McDermott gave it all he had on the 24, got right up to Tom Slow a couple of times before having problems and having to drop back off the pace. Hope you enjoyed our coverage today. Certainly a lot of fun to be with you. We'll be back tomorrow as well. Look forward to plenty more action at these 50th SCCA Runoffs. For Dorsey Schrader and our friend John Bizignano, I'm Rick Benjamin. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Stay with us. There is more to come from Road America.
The 2013 SCCA Runoffs are brought to you by Mazda. Zoom Zoom.
It's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You wish the freeway on-ramp was your personal racetrack. Well, buckle up, buddy, because the Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and events across the country, the SCCA has all the excitement you can handle. Dance the blacktop two-step with SCCA Solo. Get down and dirty with SCCA Rallycross. Or go wheel-to-wheel with SCCA Club Racing. Hit the track with the SCCA, where America's best drivers race.
He ignored the naysayers and never compromised. When Thomas Edison threw the switch, it changed everything. Engineering without compromise. This is the Mazda way. And this is the Mazda CX-5. Skyactiv technology makes it lighter yet stronger, earning a top safety pick. And more fuel efficient than any hybrid SUV. This is the uncompromised Mazda CX-5. What do you drive?